Okay, so today we're starting a new section called Ratios and Proportions. And a ratio is just a comparison of two numbers by division. Ratios will be written in three different ways. It will be written with words, which is the first one, x to y. It'll be written with a colon in the middle, x dot dot y, kind of like we write time, but you still read it the same way, x to y. And it can also be written as a fraction, x over y, which is also read the same way, x to y, because you're comparing x to y. And this fraction is going to be the most common way that you'll see ratios written. Then a proportion is an equation that is stating two ratios are equal to each other. So for example, we have 4 over 2 equals 8 over 4. And there's two ways to see if they are equal to each other. First, we just divide out the numbers and see if they equal each other. The other way that we're going to do it is we're going to cross multiply. And if the two sides equal each other when we cross multiply, then it is going to be a proportion also. So what is 4 times 4?
8.
16. And what is 8 times 2? 16. So do the two sides equal each other? Yes, so that is indeed a proportion. So a scale is a ratio that's used as a model when numbers are too large or too small. So you may see a scale used on a map. That's the most common place that we see scales used. Usually in the corner of a map somewhere, it will say 1 inch equals 10 miles. Okay, so then that becomes your scale. You would write that as a ratio, 1 over 10, and use that to figure out the distance on your map. Okay, so you could measure 3 inches would be equal to 30 miles. And we'll talk more about how to find that out when we do our examples, okay? So the directions for these first three problems say use cross products to determine whether each pair of ratios form a proportion. Write yes or no. So we're going to write yes if it is a proportion, no if it is not. And when it says use cross products, we're just cross multiplying, okay? So let's look at the first one. What is 4 times 33? Have your calculators handy so you can help me.
132.
Woo, you beat me. Good. 132. What? Yeah. Wow. And what is 12 times 11?
Oh, 122? Or is it 1?
I think it's 132.
32. 32.
It's 132. Okay? So we just cross multiplied, and the left side equaled 132, and the right side equaled 132. So is this a proportion?
Yes.
Yes. So you need to write the word yes. That's your final answer. But I would want to see your work just like I did. Show me that x that you're cross multiplying, and then show me 132 equals 132. So let's look at the next one. Again, we're going to cross multiply. So what is 16 times 9? Yes. How are you doing this, Elizabeth?
Writing it.
Wow, she's got mad skills over there. Okay, and then what is 8 times 17? I got 136.
Oh, I did that wrong.
So, does 144 equal 136? No. Is this a proportion? No. If the numbers don't equal each other, it is not a proportion. Okay, the last one, decimals. So we're going to, again, cross multiply. 2.1 times 0.7. I got 1.47. And 3.5 times 0.5, I got 1.75. No. So that's all there is to that section. It's just saying, tell me if it's a proportion or not. All right, in this section it says solve each proportion. So now you notice that we have a variable thrown in. We are still going to do this the same way we did the last section, which is by cross multiplying. So if I do 3 times x, what is 3 times x? 3x. And if I do 4 times 6 on the other side, what is 4 times 6? 24. Now on these, you can do that that great divide like we did on the 2-step problems. This will help you kind of keep your problem straight. But now I have a 3x equals 24, and I need to get x by itself. So what do I do to solve this equation and get x alone? Yes, I see that that's multiplication, so I'm going to do the opposite, which is division.
Oh,
It is 8. X equals 8. I know. Now, here's the thing. If I want to check my work, I'm just rewriting that original proportion that they gave us, except instead of x now, I'm going to put the 8 in there that we just found. I'm going to cross multiply and see if I get the two sides to equal each other. If they do, then I got the right number for x. You don't have to do this for all of them. I'm just showing you how to do it if you want to check your work. So 3 times 8 is how much? And 4 times 6, 24. Did we get the same number? Yep. So we got the right answer. So 8 is the right answer. Okay, so here's our next example. A over 45 equals 5 over 15. So again, I'm going to cross multiply, so I drew that x. I want you guys to draw that x on your work as well. Like, remember, whatever I do, you need to do. So on your paper, you should have an x going over that equation. If you don't, add it now. All right, so what is a times 15?
15.
15a. Good. We'll put the number in front of the variable. And then what is 45 times 5? 225. And I'm going to draw my great divide. I forgot.
You both went on no camera. You're fine. Mrs. McNair.
What do I have to do to get a alone? Divide by 15. Divide by 15. So a is going to equal how much? 15? Excellent. Okay, last example. So again, we have this proportion. We're going to put that x on top to show me that you're cross multiplying. What is 5 times 54?
Oh, 270.
270. And I forgot the great divide. And what is 30 times a? 30a. Okay? Now what?
She has to divide it
By
30.
30. And what is 270 divided by 30?
9.
9. Okay, so every time you have to solve a proportion, it's going to be like this. You're thinking good. Okay, so on this one, this is our little challenge problem, and we're still going to draw the x. And I'm going to show that I'm multiplying both sides together. So the thing is, this time I don't just have 6 times x. I have 6 times x minus 3, so I want you to write it like this. And we're going to have to use the distributive property on that x minus 3. And then on the other side, what is 7 times 14? Anybody got it?
No, I don't.
It's 98. Okay, so now let's distribute the 6 and see what we get on the other side. What is 6 times x? And what is 6 times a negative 3?
18.
Negative 18. Bring down the rest. So all I did was write it with the parentheses first and then use the distributive property to get my new equation. So now I have to look at the variable and do the opposite. Remember, step 1, add or subtract first. So what will I do?
Plus 18.
I'm going to do the opposite of minus 18. I'm going to plus 18 to both sides. And so we're going to bring down the 6x, and 98 plus 18, 116. And you're on a brain break. Now what do I do, guys? How do I get x alone? Yep. Divide by what?
6.
6. So put that little divide by 6 on both sides. And 116 divided by 6. You're still on a brain break, Elizabeth. Anybody got it? No. I got a decimal though. Yes. I got 19.33333333333, so I put that line over top to show that that 3 is repeating. Okay, so that's a challenge problem. You may see that one on IXL. It's also in your book, so when we do our textbook work on Wednesday, you might have one of those problems. And that's all for today.